There is a secret known to the monks who live high in the mountains of Wudang, that the river does not chase the mountain, carves its place over time. There are moments in life when time bends, not physically, but spiritually. Days when silence feels louder, dreams become warnings, encounters feel fated. Those who walk the silent path know that certain windows of time carry within them divine insight. These moments do not shout, they whisper. If your heart is not still, you will miss them. And so today I reveal a prophecy hidden not in ink, but in energy, how a man reveals his truth based on what you are to him, an option or the one. Stay with me, because by the time this sacred message ends, you will no longer guess where you stand. You will know. In the beginning, there is always a whisper, long before the heart is touched, before the eyes lock across the path, before the journey of love begins. There is something deeper, older, and quieter. It is the soundless echo that moves through the body like wind through the forest. It is the intuition, the silent bell of the soul. Many pass through life with their ears full of noise, never hearing this sacred sound. But those who walk with awareness know intuition does not shout, it hums. It nudges, it reveals. A woman who is still within herself, who does not chase but observes, hears the truth long before it becomes visible. When a man treats her as an option, she may not immediately see the signs in his behavior, but she will feel them. Like a mist on her skin before the rain arrives, the intuition speaks in the language of energy, not words, not logic. It is a knowing that cannot be explained, only honored. There is an old Zen tale of a young monk who sought enlightenment. His master gave him no scriptures, no chants, only a bowl of water and a single drop of oil. Balance the oil, the master said, and walk across the temple courtyard without spilling it. The monk, confused, tried many times and failed. Either he walked too fast and lost the oil, or too slow and it slipped with the tremble of his hand. Finally, he sat beneath a tree and whispered to the wind, "What must I do?" The wind replied, "Be still while you move, and hear what you are not listening to." He rose and walked, not with focus on his feet, but with attention in his spirit. The oil did not spill. Intuition is this. It is walking with stillness inside. It is the art of hearing what is not being said, of feeling the dissonance between word and deed. In daily life, this may appear as a simple hesitation in the chest, a message left unanswered that leaves not confusion, but contraction, a promise made, but with no eyes to back it. A woman who is merely an option will find her intuition constantly interrupted. She will ask herself more questions than she receives answers. Her peace will feel like a guest, not a home. But a woman who is the one, her intuition will rest. Her body will not flinch. Her dreams will soften. The man who is aligned with her will not disturb the inner bell. He will ring in harmony with it. As the philosopher Chuang-Tzu once said, the sound of the bell is not in the bell, it is in your listening. To know the truth of how a man sees you, listen not to his declarations, but to the sound your soul makes when he speaks. If your peace dims, he is not your path. This awareness is not built in a moment. It is cultivated like a temple garden, in silence, in patience, and in the decision to trust what cannot yet be seen. When the inner bell rings, do not doubt it. Do not beg for noise to replace the wisdom of the whisper. For in the realm of spirit, the whisper is the voice of fate. Now we journey deeper into the sacred rhythm of divine timing. There is a law that governs the movement of stars, the fall of leaves, the migration of birds, and the opening of hearts' timing. It is not man's invention, but the breath of the universe itself. All things, when aligned with their true time, unfold effortlessly. But when forced out of season, even love withers. Between the folds of the calendar lie unseen energies. days that look ordinary to the mind but are extraordinary to the soul. These are sacred windows, portals through which either clarity descends or confusion takes root. A man who meets you out of season may be a mirror of your past self, not your future. He may reflect your longing, but not your becoming. This is why some connections ignite like wildfires and burn out with the morning dew. They were never built to last. They arrived not to stay, but to teach. In the rhythm of divine timing, fate tests before it blesses. Between the 3rd and 5th of each month, there is often a shift, subtle yet noticeable. These days bring encounters that seem promising but carry hidden misalignments. These are days when the universe watches your choices more than your prayers. Will you chase what feels familiar, or will you pause, breathe, and wait for what feels true? There is a Shaolin parable of the falcon and the falling feather. The falcon, strong and sharp, once flew through the sky seeking its prey. It moved swiftly, never waiting, never doubting. One day it saw a white feather descending slowly. Enchanted by its softness, the falcon tried to catch it midair. But the feather moved with the wind, not by effort. The faster the falcon moved, the more elusive the feather became. Eventually, tired and confused, the falcon returned to its branch. There, watched as the feather landed silently beside it. The master said, "What is sent for you will land when you stop chasing what floats." This is divine timing. The alignment of souls is never hurried, does not respond to urgency, only to readiness. In our own lives, we see this in the way certain relationships emerge when we are not seeking, centered, when we are no longer trying to be chosen, but choosing ourselves. A woman who understands divine timing will no longer panic when a man pulls away. She knows that absence is not always rejection. Sometimes it is redirection. She sees each delay not as denial, but as design. There may be moments when you feel alone, when love seems distant. But it is in these moments that your alignment is being tested. You are not waiting for a man. You are being prepared for the one who is worthy of your peace. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "Nothing great is created suddenly. Even the grape must ripen before the wine." And so it is with love. The divine timing of your connection will not rush. When a man sees you as the one, he will not fear time. He will honor it. He will not play games, for his heart will be synchronized with your silence. He will appear not with fanfare, but with truth, and his presence will feel like a door that was always meant to open. So walk slowly with trust. Let the world move fast. You stay timeless. For those who understand the sacred rhythm of time never beg for what is late. They simply prepare for what is destined. And thus, the bell of intuition and the pulse of divine timing move together like breath and heartbeat, one sensing, the other aligning. With this knowing, let it root deep in the soil of your being. The path is not behind you. The path is not ahead. It is revealed when you listen, and when you wait. There is a moment in every journey when the traveler must stop and ask, am I walking towards something true or merely away from what I fear? In the realm of love, this moment comes not with loud warnings, in quiet realizations. A woman may wonder why one man sees her as an option, an afterthought in his life, convenient only when it suits him, while another looks upon her as if she were made of prophecy, not chance. The difference lies not only in how she is treated, but in what she is to him. Some men seek comfort, others seek meaning. The first will choose a woman who fills the silence. The second will choose the one who becomes the silence he can rest in. To be seen as the one is not about perfection nor about effort. It is about recognition. The soul recognizes its mirror, and no amount of distraction can replace that knowing. In an ancient Shaolin monastery, a disciple once asked his master, How do I know if what I carry is sacred? The master replied, if it can be replaced, it is not sacred. So the disciple tested this truth. He carried different scrolls, offered various chants, wore symbols and beads. Each time he lost one, he found another. One day the master gave him a stone, plain unshaped. Keep this. The disciple scoffed. It's just a rock. Weeks passed, and the stone became his companion. He carved nothing into it, spoke nothing to it, but carried it always. One night the stone was lost in the river, and for the first time the disciple wept. The master found him and said, "You have known the sacred," because it could not be replaced, and because its absence created silence in your heart. So it is when a man meets the woman who is the one. She is not replaceable. Her presence quiets the restlessness within him. He feels no need to search elsewhere. He does not weigh options. He bows before alignment. But when a man sees a woman as an option, he keeps his feet halfway in the world. He does not offer his full gaze. He keeps one door open behind him, not realizing that by doing so, the door in front of him slowly closes. In nature, we see this difference in the behavior of migrating birds. The swallow returns each season to the same place it was born, not because it cannot find others, but because it remembers. It is guided not by preference, but by pull. But the crow wanders. Clever, opportunistic. It settles wherever there is shelter, but it leaves just as quickly. One is led by soul memory, the other by survival. And so in love, a man who sees a woman as the one returns to her not by force, not even by choice, but by remembering. She is the home he doesn't want to leave. The philosopher Plotinus once wrote, "We do not go toward beauty. We return to it. If awakening to something we once knew, a woman does not become the one by proving herself. She becomes it by being herself. What she awakens in him is not admiration, it is remembrance. He recognizes her energy the way the tide recognizes the pull of the moon. In this understanding, we come to a deeper truth. What is meant for you will recognize you. You will not need to perform. You will not need to shrink. You will not need to beg. When a man chooses you with clarity, you are not an option. You are a spiritual mirror, and those cannot be found. They are revealed. But before such revelation, the soul must pass through the fire of false light. This is the fourth path of our journey, the realm of spiritual tests disguised as love. The universe, in its sacred wisdom, does not always send blessings first. Times it sends illusions, reflections of your own unhealed parts, to see if you will finally choose yourself. These tests do not come as obvious trickery, no, they often arrive clothed in beauty. A man may speak the right words, he may mirror your hopes, touch your wounds with tenderness and promise stars. But his spirit is not aligned. His presence unsettles more than it soothes. And so you are asked, will you drink from a poisoned cup because it is golden? There is an ancient teaching from a Taoist monk who once said, before truth arrives, the spirit of deception dances, but only the ungrounded join in the dance. He told a parable of a woman in the forest who saw two fires. One was small, steady, warm, the other large, flickering, wild with color. She ran to the larger fire. It gave her heat, quickly, excitement, sensation. But soon it became smoke. The warmth turned to burns. She was left cold again. She turned to the smaller fire. It had waited for her. It burned low, but deep. It did not flare, it did not burn, it simply endured. This is the nature of real love. It does not dazzle at first. It anchors, it humbles, it reveals. The spiritual test is this: will you be seduced by intensity or guided by peace? In daily life, this test often comes when you are most vulnerable. After heartbreak, in loneliness, when you begin to doubt your worth. A man appears. He seems to carry light, but it flickers. He gives affection in doses. He takes more than he gives. He withdraws when you ask for clarity, only to return when you move on. These are not coincidences. They are echoes of your own inner lesson to choose yourself even when what you want is choosing you halfway. Nature teaches this too. The lotus grows in muddy water. It does not bloom in perfect clarity. Its beauty is earned through struggle. The lotus never opens for every ray of sun. It waits for the warmth that stays. When you are in the midst of a spiritual test, look at how you feel after he leaves. If your soul is unsettled, if your light dims, if your energy contracts, this is your answer. Do not ask, does he love me? Ask instead, do I return to myself after loving him? The ancient Buddhist monk Didu Jen said, a flower falls even though we love it. A weed grows even though we do not, meaning not all things we desire are meant to stay. Not all things we reject are meant to go. But wisdom lies in knowing the difference between what awakens your spirit and what only distracts it. When a man is a spiritual test, he triggers your longing but does not meet your essence. He mirrors your emptiness but not your expansion. It is not cruelty. It is curriculum. And once you pass this test, you graduate into alignment. You stop mistaking intensity for intimacy. You stop confusing longing with love. You begin to see the difference between someone who touches your body and someone who moves your soul. In this sacred shift, you no longer ask for signs. You've become the sign. You speak less, observe more. You stop trying to convince anyone to choose you. Instead, you choose peace, even if it means standing alone. And this is the paradox. When you stop chasing, what is true finally finds its way. So let every test refine you. Let every almost clarify what you truly need. And when a man comes, not as a test, but as a truth, you will know. Not by the way he dazzles you, but by how your soul remains still in his presence. This is the journey of awakening. From being chosen out of convenience, to being recognized through soul memory, from surviving false flames to resting in real fire. And as you walk this sacred path, remember, the one who sees you as an option will make you doubt. The one who sees you as the one will make you remember. The difference is everything. In the silent rhythm of the cosmos, everything dances in cycles. This is valued not because she is not enough, but because the season of recognition has not yet arrived. In this sacred pattern, love is revealed slowly through the passing of emotional seasons. There is a story from an old Taoist tradition. A farmer, tired of the harshness of his land, climbed a mountain to ask the sage who lived there, why do my seeds not bear fruit, even when I plant them with care? The sage did not speak. Instead, he handed the man a small clay pot and said, place this under the moonlight every night. Say nothing. Wait. The farmer, puzzled but obedient, did so. Nights passed. Nothing changed. Then, on the 30th night, a single sprout broke through the clay, something he had not planted. It was not the seed he carried, the one buried by the wind long ago. The sage explained, what was planted in alignment with time will grow. Even if you forget, what is planted with impatience will never bloom, even if you feed it daily. And so it is in love. There are connections that appear strong, but were sown in misalignment. They promise much, but collapse like structures built in sand. And then there are others, quiet, gentle, undramatic, that blossom with the passing of time. These are the ones written by fate, not force. We see this in the way certain relationships return, not out of need, but through awakening. A man who once saw you as ordinary may one day look at you and see divinity. Not because you changed, because he grew into the cycle where your energy could finally be understood. But to reach this point, both souls must honor the rhythm of time. Often, the universal cycle tests with absence before it grants union. It may separate two hearts to refine their inner worlds, to melt away illusion, to purge immaturity. The separation is not always an ending. It is sometimes an alignment disguised as a pause. In nature, caterpillar must dissolve completely inside the cocoon. From the outside, it appears as stillness, even death. But inside, transformation reigns. So, too with the soul, a man may disappear from your life, not to forget you, but to remember himself. And if he is meant to return, he will, no longer fragmented, but whole. The philosopher Mrs. Soseki once wrote, if you do not advance, you fall behind. But if you advance too fast, you lose the path. In daily life, we often misread the signs. We think silence is rejection. That delay is dismissal. But universal cycles speak in symbols, not seconds. You may not see the full picture today, but when the leaves turn, you will understand why the tree stood bare for so long. Thus, if a man walks away during a time of emotional winter, let him go without bitterness. You are not losing him. You are respecting the season. And if he returns when the cycle aligns, you will feel it not in his words, but in your peace. Let the moon remind you, what disappears does not always vanish. It may simply be in its dark phase, preparing to shine again. So rest in this truth. You do not need to chase what is part of your cycle. It will orbit back when the soul is ready to receive. From this understanding arises the sixth and final truth, alignment through stillness. Stillness is the final gateway of transformation. It is not passivity nor stagnation. It is the powerful surrender that comes from inner trust. It is the soul saying, I do not need to force. I only need to prepare. When a woman enters stillness, she becomes a mountain in the presence of wind. She does not chase. She does not over-explain. She does not ask for what should be given freely. Her energy becomes a sacred invitation. Those aligned will stay. Those not meant to rise will quietly fall away. There is a parable from a Zen temple of a young student who watched the lotus flowers bloom in the monastery's pond. One day, he asked the master, "Why do they bloom without sound?" The master replied, "Because they do not seek applause. Blooming is their offering. And so it must be with you. Let your wholeness be your offering. Let your calm be your clarity. A man who is aligned with your soul will feel this energy and know, without noise, without persuasion, that he is in the presence of something sacred. In stillness, you do not fight for love. You embody it. A real life mirror of this can be seen in how rivers shape the stone. They do not pound. They do not scream. They simply flow over time, and the rock yields. In the realm of the spirit, stillness is not weakness. It is command. It is the space from which divine action arises. It teaches you that you are not an option, nor a reaction. You are a sanctuary. Not everyone will enter. Only the ready will knock. There will be moments when silence is your only companion. Do not fill it. Let it teach you. Let it sharpen your discernment, for in the silence is heard most clearly. The ancient mystic Lao Tzu once whispered, "Those who know do not speak. Those who speak do not know." What he meant was this true understanding speaks through energy, not explanation. Through presence, not performance. So when a man comes into your life, observe not just how he speaks, but how he rests in your presence. Does he quiet his noise? Does his spirit soften? Does he meet your stillness, or does he disturb it? Your alignment is your shield. When you are rooted in your own rhythm, you will no longer be swayed by temporary storms. You will know, this man adds to my silencer, or he steals from it. The ultimate mastery is not in finding love. It is in becoming the space where only love can stay. So walk with patience. Let time test what is true. Let stillness cleanse what is not. And let your energy speak louder than your words. When you live in harmony with the universal cycles and rest in the strength of your stillness, you become unshakable. You do not chase love. You become the place where love recognizes itself. And when he comes, The one who is not confused, not unsure, not wandering. You will not need to ask anything. He will sit beside your stillness, and you will both remember you were not waiting for each other. You were becoming. A woman who knows her value becomes invisible to the undeserving. So remember, some men appear during chaotic dates to test your soul. Others arrive on sacred dates to awaken your destiny. Pay attention to what your spirit feels between the 3rd and 24th, for this cycle repeats every month, and so does the choice between pain and power. Let the weak fall away. Let the unclear dissolve. Let silence be your compass. Because you are not here to be chosen. You are here to recognize. And when the one who is written for you arrives, he will not hesitate. He will not question. He will know. And so will you.